Hello my viewers, welcome back to the channel. And by the video title, you know what this video is about. Today we're discussing, of course, some receivers and free agents receivers that the Steelers could possibly, bring in. Not all the guys, of course, but at least a combination of a few that they possibly can bring in, of course. Start off with the first person I want to talk about, Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd played at Pittsburgh College. He thought the Steelers were going to draft him. He had a little chip on his shoulder a little bit when he went to the Bengals, but he always been productive and consistent. I think the Steelers should be maybe looking to bring a guy like that in to a degree, because we have, of course, need to bring in more receivers for our depth. You look at Van Jefferson. Yes, he made plays maybe like in 2 games, but it's a 17-game season like that. Van Jefferson didn't really make too many plays, and he was very inconsistent. He was kind of just out there, just running like that, getting cardio in most of the time. So they still need to add another weapon. You look at Scotty Miller. He made a catch a few. I think he made one big catch. I can remember that catch he had on the field. But besides that, they really do a lot. Skoranek played pretty good on special teams, but as a receiver, they really do a lot. Calvin Austin played better than he did the year before, but still wasn't enough to put fear into people. The only person we had really out there was GP, so we need to add more depth. I think Tyler Boyd would be a great depth piece to add in. A guy who can play in the slot, a guy who can play on the outside. He's very physical player as well. Possession-like receiver, quarterback friendly, a guy who always seems to be open. You can find him on third down, coming across that middle and making plays for you. So I think if Tyler Boyd is available, to bring in. He'll be a free agent, so he came from the Titans. I doubt he'd go back to the Titans. He'd probably go to a different team. And hey, bring him in like that. Bring Tyler Boyd in for another depth piece. Another guy I like to bring in for depth piece as well be Darius Slayton, kind of the same degree a little bit. Darius Slayton will be a nice addition to bring to the team. Not both of these guys, but just one of the two like that. Then maybe a high-end receiver, which I'm going to get to in a little bit in this video. But I feel like you should bring in Tyler Boyd or Darius Slayton as one of those depth pieces as your third guy next to GP and the other big receiver you get. But Darius Slayton played with the Giants for many years like that. All those years he played with the Giants, and he's been putting up productive numbers, being consistent with all the quarterback stuff they've been having with the Giants and all the firing of coaches and all the different things that have been happening. He always been consistent and making plays and being their vertical threat. And when he played us this year against the Steelers played the Giants, he had a pretty good game. He had like 80, 90 yards against us and a touchdown too as well. He played very well against the Steelers when he played against us. So Darius Slayton is a nice player. I think he has the ability to stretch the field as well, be a consistent deep threat, good route runner as well, and just productive like that. It's always find a way to make a play. I think in a better system, better structure, like Pittsburgh Steelers, we better structured than Giants. We still have a long way to go from get back to our old self, of course, but we better structured than the Giants, of course. So I think him being in this system will actually help out a lot. The Steelers do a good job of getting the receivers the ball, finding receivers, and kind of help receivers like uplift and get boosted a little bit. So I think Darius Slayton or Tyler Boyd, one of the two, could be a great addition to add as your third guy for the team. Now the top end guys, of course, on the team, you maybe can add in. One of the guys I have is Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper is an amazing route runner, a route technician, and those type of guys the Steelers love. Guys who can get open, who make the plays, and who'll be there on the spot when you call it and say, hey, you need to stop and be here at the 10 mark. You're gonna be right there. You're gonna be right there in certain spots like that. You're gonna run the route smart and just find his quarterback wide open. Find his quarterback when he's open and stuff, and just make plays and be quarterback friendly. So having a guy like that will be great. Now, Mark Cooper did seem a little sluggish last year, a little bit with the Bills. I don't know if he was dealing with some injuries, a little bit like that here and there. So we'll see how he looks and stuff. But I think he's still a nice addition to add in. I feel like if you add him in, he would not be a better player in the moment than GP. Because GP would still have more athleticism, being younger and stuff as well, and a big playmaker down the field. But he'll still be a great addition, a big upgrade way big upgrade, a superb big upgrade over what we had, of course, last year as receiver 2 and stuff. So I think he'd be a nice addition for that. But the top 2 guys that I have, of course, you probably know one of them already, Chris Godwin. I've mentioned him on the channel many times. I feel like he'd be a great addition to the team. He kind of embodied what the Steelers fully are. He kind of reminds you a little bit of Hines Ward if you watch him. He's a former All-Pro, of course, second-team All-Pro receiver. Pro Bowl receiver, Super Bowl champion. He plays physical. He's not afraid to block. He's a good leader as well. And the locker run on last year coming off an ACL tear, but before the ACL, he was playing very well and stuff. Really, the only injury he really had, like played his career. He had like what four over 1,000-yard seasons, including a few that was 1,400-yard seasons. I think over the last 6 years like that. So he was playing very good, been very productive, and just going out there and showcasing different things, and being a nice player. So I think he'll be a great kind of like, he can be 1A, 1B with Pickens like that little bit. And I think that'd be a good mix of things too. The Steelers did go that route. I'm bringing Chris Godwin in. We'll see if the Bucks bring him back or what happens, of course, fully. But the number 1 guy who I have on the list the Steelers should bring in, is probably already know as well, is Devontae Adams. Remember I mentioned Devontae Adams on the Steelers Syndicate channel. I said if the Steelers Devontae Adams get released, so the Steelers pursue him. I made that video like a week or 2 ago, and he got released. And now you're seeing a lot of teams pursuing him. I think every team probably, mostly, really, almost every team in the NFL really probably pursuing him, except the Bengals, man, because they got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. But Besides that, I think every other team probably in the NFL is probably pursuing him because he's like an amazing player to bring in. So getting a big time playmaker like Davante Adams on one side, he'd be receiver 1 for sure if he comes to our team. And then you have kind of 1B with George Pickens, and then you can add maybe, like I mentioned, Tyler Boyd or Darius Slayton. Add one of those individuals right there as your third guy with Calvin Austin. We'll see Roman Wilson if he can merge to what he's supposed to be, and then we have a kind of nice little receiver core. And maybe you want to draft one later round, you probably could do that too as well. So we'll see the Steelers can go out there and make that happen. But I think adding Davante Adams or Chris Godwin, one of the two. Davante Adams, Chris Godwin, or Mark Cooper, one of the three right there. Add one of those guys, and then add another guy who's like be your third guy like that, and that'd be like Darius Slayton, or of course, you look at I forgot his name, Tyler Boyd like that, adding Tyler Boyd in there as well. So I feel like one of those individuals will fit well. For the Steelers, kind of like the receivers that who are always QB friendly, the guys who can get open, the route technician type guys, and make plays. I know people mentioned Stephon Diggs many times before, but we ain't trying to deal with the antics. We already deal enough. I got enough to deal with George Pickens already. Like people mentioned DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf have a lot of personal penalties. Like he have more than GP, so we have to deal with all that. And I know he's a good player. I feel like he can be elite level player if he got his own head as well. But I wouldn't be interested in the Steelers making a move or trade for DK Metcalf. Only trade I would consider will probably be Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson, I think he's a nice addition to anybody's team like that. He's an amazing player, plays physical, play hard as well like that, and been productive, always productive every season. So I feel like Garrett Wilson would be a great addition to add if he was to go out there and trade for a player. But I think most likely the Steelers got to see a lot of free agent receivers' names. You got Davante Adams, Amari Coopers, or Chris Godwins. You got all the different individuals out there who you can probably bring in some top level guys. I mean, you ain't got to give up anything only but money like that. So if you want to win, you got to spend some money. Some fans keep saying it's too much money to spend to go get the receivers. You got to win. If you want to win, you got to spend some money. You got to spend money. You got to spend money to make money. You got to be able to go out there and make things happen. You can't be trying to play cheap and add these little receivers who are not going to do anything. And you see, at one point we were sitting at 10-3, and then you see what happened. We put those tough teams like the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Eagles, and all those teams that beat us. And then the Ravens in the playoffs again that beat us because we can get a guy open on the other side. When GP start having those tantrums and start dropping things, getting his own head, who can go open on the other side? Calvin Austin? Maybe sometimes, or rarely. Van Jefferson? Definitely not. Any of the other guys on Wilson can get on the field. So bring in some individuals who are going to be out there, who are going to play consistently at a high level. Bring in Davante Adams, a elite level player, playmaker, a future Hall of Famer in this league, over 11,000 yards in this league. Bring in Chris Godwin, a good player like that with a Super Bowl championship. Former All-Pro as well, a Pro Bowler like that. Bring guys like that, Mark Cooper as well, Pro Bowlers and stuff. Bring top level guys in, playmakers, level guys in, so it'll be there 24/7 making plays for you instead of hoping that these guys emerge or do this and that. So I feel like you bring those guys in, you add those in the and pair with GP, add those pieces in. The Steelers can be looking at, of course, a way better offense, and depending on, no matter what quarterback we have either, because the quarterback will be in great standing a little bit. I got GP on one side, Davante Adams on the other side. I'm feeling good like that. Or I got GP on one side, Chris Godwin on the other side, Darius Slayton in the slot. I'm feeling good. So depending on what they do, we'll see what happens. But I feel like the quarterback situation, I think it'll be easier for the quarterback to kind of merge in, especially Justin Fields coming back, merge in with top level guys like that. Having those big pieces on the outside will help them out a lot. But that's all I have for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe for more content. I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Peace out.